All these very low interest loans, that are offered to householders purchasing PV systems. You know, I I did some emailing today, and I included what was known as the federal legislation known as Child Protection Act. Yes, you know, for each and every individual that thought that I was one of those homeless individuals that has somebody after them, yeah, there's always the evidence, and that's always the problem, isn't it? Because as I read it, you can insert, yes, not less than 20 years. Now, who's the dumb sheriff? I know a lot of people that are homeless, and I know those that are mentally ill and those that are not. And it seems to me that the sheriff just likes to make up bullshit about people. Well, let's look at it. Where was I on December 31st of 2015? Was I in Sequim, Washington, or was I sleeping at the Serenity House that night? Yes. Was I really on the bus, or did I just make all this up when you interviewed me and you handed? Well, when you arrest somebody for the allegation of a crime and then you know they're not there, obviously it's kidnapping. Mandatory, Sheriff. 20 years. 20 years. Now, this idea that you're just going to arrest any person that you want without having any actual evidence, yes. And then you're going to say that they're mentally ill for knowing that they didn't commit any crimes. Now, on or about June 16th of 2017, was I sitting in front of the Masonic Temple making videos that day? Was I in the senior center that day? Oh. Did I go to the community meal on that day? Yes. Now, we can look at the actual calendar. Oops. Uh, let's see. Sheriff, what's the problem with saying somebody's crazy when they're not? Because I sent you 2,500,000 emails. Yes. I said the petitioner didn't sign the protection order. Oops. And then later on, we found out about forgeries. Oh. See, there's always a big question about what individual is really mentally ill or mentally defective and what individuals aren't. Now, let's say you did commit the crime of kidnapping. You as Judge Rohr. You as Brent Baisden. You as Ken Williams. Oh, see, is this signature the actual signature of Christy Miller, or is this signature the? Now, both of them can't be the same individual. Is it a real forgery, or is this Christy Miller has two different signatures and in the same 1 minute decides to sign one like this and one like that? Because it was 2:05 p.m., was it? Oh, where was the petitioner at? And since I wasn't there and you didn't give me any notice of the actual court hearing, yes. Are you sure that my son's? Well, let's look at the calendar, okay? Because it looks to me like you're just not listening. June 16th, yes, of 2017. June 16th was a Friday, yes. There was a community meal on Friday at the Methodist Church, yes. I was there. I was at the house sitting. I sent some emails in the afternoon about 3 p.m. Exactly when is it that you're going to acknowledge that your use of leverage against me because of the use of mental health evaluations adds to, yes, what is the actual crime of child abuse and child kidnapping? Now, I keep telling you that I want you to remove your fraud, and you keep sitting there right now wanting to say that I'm crazy for knowing that I was not there. Yes, that you intentionally falsified police documents. Yes, you had the prosecuting attorney motion the court for the false criminal complaints. Yes. And then I found out that my sons are in the wrong grades. Yeah. And are playing in athletics. Yes. Where they're honorably mentioned. Yes. In the WIAA. Yes. Could you tell me how it could be misinterpreted that this is not kidnapping? Now, I told you this morning. It's 20-year judgment. Oh. Now, Sheriff, is there some reason you're not in prison right now? Oh, you got a badge on? Is that what's keeping you out of prison? Well, this is the law. I didn't make these laws up. Yes. And when I put leverage 3 on there, yes. You can see that I emailed numerous members of the national, what's it called again? Something sports. See, this is the law, and the law has to be enforced. Pope. See, the federal laws that relate to nationwide criminal background checks are the National Child Protection Act, yes, and the Volunteers for Children Act. Now, the Child Protection Acts, yes. The issuance of the fraudulent dissolution of marriage, where I didn't get notice of court hearings, right. You decided to say that you couldn't locate me, right. But you did serve me at the same time as arresting me, yes. And then you allowed for my wife to motion the court for a default dissolution of marriage using the wrong name. Ouch. And then I never got notice of any court hearings after the motion for the default dissolution of marriage. Now, let me see here. Brent Baston, how could you? Well, obviously, right. There was no notice of court hearings, no notice of court hearings, declaration of mailing, mail returned unclaimed, but not all the pieces of mail were returned unclaimed. Yes. And then there's the fraud of sending all the court notices to 1023 Kitchen Dick Road. Now, it says you shall insert not less than 20 years. Yes. Watch the video. Read the National Child Protection Act. I included a copy of it right now. Well, it says here, right. Stronger penalties against kidnapping, Section 104. So the increase provided by Section 2A41B5 is 6 levels instead of 3. Yeah. Minimum mandatory sentence, Section 1201G of the title. U.S. Code 18 is amended by striking shall be subject to paragraph 2 in paragraph 1. And all that follows through paragraph 2 and inserting shall include imprisonment for not less than 20 years. Now, when you use a forgery to issue a protection order, yes, so that I cannot speak to my sons, yes, I'm thinking that they're kidnapped because I'm their father. Now, there is no statute of limitations. We can do this for the rest of their lives, but it's been changed from 18 years old to 21 years old. No matter what the fuck happens, you fuckers are going to prison. See, no statute of limitations that would otherwise preclude prosecution for an offense involving the sexual or physical abuse. And I would say, for sure, it's physical abuse, having them in the wrong grades and playing football team. Kidnapping or a child under the age of 18 shall preclude such prosecution during the life of the child. No matter what happens, there is no statute of limitations. When you decided to issue this protection order on July 31st, 2015, there's no statute of limitations. The petitioner didn't sign it, and you used the forgery of an imposter of the actual officer of the court. Poach! There is no statute of limitations. That means that I can go through and keep including additional email addresses, and for every coach in the United States that knows about this, I'll fucking sue for every fucking thing. Now, I emailed the Department of Defense. Poop. Why don't you get me all the employees of every high school in the Department of Defense? Because I'll sue every fucking one of them right now. Now, I told you that some individuals were disappointed that I had not emailed sooner? Yes. I would have thought that if you had actually done what the law says, I wouldn't have had to. But now I have proof that I emailed them, pooch. And it doesn't matter if they read it or not. I have the fucking proof that I emailed them. That means the Department of Defense is now liable. Ouch. Now, as many times.